Yeah, I don't ever remember feeling like this. But I'm out here in these YouTube streets. So I want you to get your fingers.
I don't know what you're doing.
I want you to
right
get
now,
your mouse.
I want you to check me out.
And I want you to check me out.
Get ready to do this. It's the relationship rehab. Like, share, and subscribe. We coming at you live. So come on, let's take a ride. Then subscribe to United Guns of America. Just click that link and listen up to what I'm telling you. It's the relationship.
Click that link right now. You know what I'm saying? It's your boy Brian Revin, and I just want y'all to subscribe to my channel. You know what I'm saying? I want you to let me know what you think. I'ma talk about some things, you can talk about some things, and we can do our thing. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's all about having a conversation, right? I mean, if we can't talk to each other, then, I mean, what are we really here for? I want y'all to be able to just come over to my channel, talk to me about what's going on with you, and I can tell you what's going on with me, and we can build some things. You know what I'm saying? That's all about growth, baby. So click that link, go ahead and swipe on your phone, whatever you gotta do. Share my content. It's just get me out here, baby. Cause we just talking, you know what I'm saying? It's like, I like doing what I'm doing because it's about the people. It's about us having a conversation with each other. It's about us discussing whatever needs to be discussed. And on these YouTube streets, this is the best place to do it, baby. Like, share, subscribe. That's right. Click the link. Click the link. Yeah. I just want to say thank you to everybody that's out here that's already subscribed. You know what I'm saying? Cause y'all ain't the first one, and y'all ain't the last one. So I just want to give a shout out to everybody that click the link, that click the share, and then subscribe to your boy. Cause we gon' grow this thing together, baby. Relationship rehabbing, United Guns of America. To the world, blow up, baby. Yeah. Click the link, baby. Click the link, baby. Yeah. Hey, I just wanted to send a shout out to all y'all. I love y'all. That's why I do this. It's for the love of us, baby. I appreciate all of y'all. Ooh, we gon' do this thing. We gon' do this thing right here, baby. Hey, look, if you at a computer right now, just go ahead and click your link. What else you got to lose, baby? Tell me what you think. Hit the comment section. You can jump on the live panel. We do it all here. That's what it's all about. So come holler at your boy. I've been doing this for years, but I just got onto this YouTube thing. So hey, let's see what it do and where it can go.
To United Guns of America. Just click the link and listen up to what I'm telling you.
What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Brian Revin, and yes, we are back one more again for another show. And tonight, I'm excited because this is gonna be a great show. And let me tell y'all something. You know, when I'm getting ready for my show, I usually got to get my drink ready, and then I gotta get my my cigar and all that stuff together. And tonight, my daughter, who very seldomly tells me or gives me instructions. She gave me some instructions tonight to tell y'all. So she told me to make sure that I tell y'all to make sure y'all stay connected to my show and that she loves the Transformers. That's just what she said. I'm just the messenger here. That's what she told me to tell y'all, to make sure that y'all stay connected to my show and that she loves the Transformers, and to say hi to everybody. So my daughter, Destiny, to all of y'all, she's saying hi to all y'all. So shout out to my baby girl. Daddy love you. You should be getting ready to eat your fish sticks, and then you should be going to bed. So do what your mama tell you, and you'll be fine. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's roll right into what we're going to do tonight. And I can't start the show without my favorite part.
Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures,
Yes, sir.
videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use and is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting,
right.
teaching,
Tell
and
them about it,
parody,
baby.
which doesn't infringe of copyright under
That's right.
17 USC 107.
Yeah, boy. There go my wife. Tonight's cigar is brought to you by none other than Liga, the Primavera T52. Shout out to my brother Bert, who has put me on. He is my cigar aficionado. He puts me on. Shout out to Bert. Shout out to my man E-Sound. But let's go ahead and let's move right on and do what we came here to do. And let me first give a shout out and say, hey, everybody, what's happening? Shout out to my man Tony Snow. They call me B. What up, Brandy? Shout out to Calvin Dickinson. Shout out to April. What's up, sis? Shout out to Poco29, Miriam Remo, TW1984, UFO Kamikaze. Where you been, brother? Good to see you. Brandon Storball, what's happening? No Brass, what's good, brother? Jeffrey Butler, Colin, Kodak Courage, and April again, and then Miriam. All right, everybody that got shouted out, please click that like button. I would definitely appreciate that. Oh, wait, I got to switch it to live chat because it's not on. There we go. That get everybody in there. All right, shout out to Butter Pecan 9. All right, y'all. Now, what I'm talking about tonight is a young man that got shot and killed. His name is Amir Locke. And I don't know, for some reason while I was researching this, I kept wanting to say Tamir Rice, but I think it's the Amir part that's getting me mixed up with the Tamir because I did his story too. But one of the things about this particular story is that it's kind of weird to me when we have things that, you know, may not go the way we want them to go and how it's instantly politicized. And there's never a look at this or look at these types of shootings as to say, well, hey, maybe something went wrong and that went wrong because of A, B, C, and D. It's always they did it on purpose. They killed my baby. They executed him because that's what they wanted to do. And it's not always like that. And it's unfortunate that this young man is dead. I get it. But a lot of this stuff is like, it's one of those things where you have to look at the totality of the circumstances. And then you have to factor in the professionalism and the training of the officers involved. But you also have to factor in the human factor of this too. And I think that a lot of times with and that's one of the reasons why I really like doing these breakdowns and I do them the way that I do them, because I try to factor in all of those things. And it's not just a thing of us against them. It's us against the police, me against the police, me against the criminals. That's not how this is. Just because I was a former police officer, it doesn't mean that I'm always for police. And it doesn't mean that I'm always against the civilians. It just means that when I'm doing these breakdowns, I am for the truth. I am for the facts. I'm for the whole idea of this is to have a conversation for everybody to learn, because there are plenty of opportunities where civilians can learn from police, and there are plenty of opportunities where police can learn from civilians and learn how to do their job better. That's just what it is. My man No Brass says, can you make me a few fish sticks too? No. No fish sticks for you. All right, so without further ado, I'm going to go to the news part of this, and I'm going to let them do their thing, and then we're going to talk about it. Now, also in the title, you did see on here about the Amir Locke shooting breakdown, and I also put in what Brandon Tatum got wrong. Now, Brandon Tatum did a breakdown of this, and I disagreed with a few things on here, which is why I put that part in there, because I believe that because he has such a large audience, that a lot of times because there's so many people that watch his perspective, that they take that and they run with it and not hearing the other side of it sometimes to see exactly what that is and what that looks like. That's why I put that in there, because it could be a thing to where he may not be looking at it the way that I'm looking at it. And also the people that are watching him may not look at it that way. So that's why I'm trying to be as objective as I can. And I'm trying to shoot it right down the middle. I know that he's very police. I get it. Not a problem with it. I'm not one of them people that's against the police. I can't be. It's just not in my DNA. But I do call out when the police get shit wrong. I do that. So just like I call out when people do shit wrong, I'm calling it both ways. I'm going to be fair. That's just how I am. That's just how I was raised. That's how I was taught in this here YouTube game by my brother, Tommy Sotomayor. Shout out to you, bro, wherever you at. Hope you're driving safely. All right. So let's go ahead and let's get on in with the goodness. And I'm going to start with the story itself, which would be this. So let's go ahead and
WCCO streaming on CBS News Minnesota. Today's demonstration comes 3 days after the SWAT team raid inside a downtown apartment. We have team coverage for you tonight as we learn more about Locke's death and the powerful response from the community. We're going to start with David Schumann, who was there as Locke's family spoke today. David?
Amir Locke's father spoke for about half an hour to a crowd of hundreds of people, maybe 1,000. What all those people want was made clear today for Officer Mark Hanneman, who shot Amir, to be fired and criminally charged, for acting Minneapolis Police Chief Amelia Huffman to be fired, and for Mayor Jacob Frey to resign.
And I am so tired of this. I'm so tired of every time somebody sees something, don't like something, the minute they see something they don't like, all they doing is calling for people jobs. That's all they do. Now, when people get stuff wrong and they say the wrong thing or they don't know the full story, don't nobody call for you to lose your job. Stop calling for everybody's job. I'm just so sick of that. All you activists, all you black power people, all you pro-blacks, stop calling for people's jobs. Plain and simple. Get an understanding, get some legislation going if that's what you want to do, but stop calling for people's jobs every time somebody say something or do something you don't like. It's ridiculous to where we in this type of culture to where cancel culture just it. Oh, you said something I don't like, you need to lose your job. You about to lose your job every time. You didn't get my order right. You should be fired. I should be fired? Yes, I wanted pepperoni and sausage. It's only sausage on this pizza. Lose your job. It's like if that was if every time you messed up on your job, or what if the one time you messed up on your job, you lost it? How would you feel? What type of work environment would you be in where every time somebody made a mistake on their job, they lost it? Oh, you didn't follow this rule or you made this mistake, you're fired. People would be out there protesting just like they're doing now. He made one mistake. He didn't call his customer back and they fired him. Well, that's exactly what y'all doing. The minute somebody do something that you don't like, lose your job. Breaking the law, hey, to what, depending on the degree in which you broke the law and what transpired because you broke the law, sometimes you should lose your job. But every time somebody does something wrong, it ain't lose your job, or somebody don't say something you want them to say, lose your job. That's just like how they did the mayor in Minneapolis. They wanted to make him Black Lives Matter, holding a rally and a protest, tried to get this man to come up there and say he gonna defund the police. And when he said, well, no, I ain't gonna disband the police, I ain't gonna defund the police, everybody was like, we ain't voting for you then. It's like, well, what about all the other things this man could have done or could have helped y'all accomplish because he's telling you he's supporting you? Just because I don't do everything you say don't mean I'm your enemy. We have got to get away from those types of absolutes. Niggas always want somebody to give them something, but the minute they don't do what they want you to do, then they want to take everything from you. And that's insane that we have that mentality. This is ridiculous.
How dare you take my son from me and his mother?
Andre Locke, who goes by Buddy, shared publicly Saturday the deep pain and sorrow he's feeling after the death of his son Amir.
This is not easy. To have to bury your son. I'm gonna miss cracking jokes with my boy. I'm gonna miss calling him to find out what's the best, who's rocking in the music.
Body camera video shows a Minneapolis SWAT officer shooting Amir 3 times Wednesday morning while carrying out a no-knock search warrant as part of a murder investigation. Amir wasn't named on the warrant. His aunt, Linda, isn't satisfied with what's been made public so far.
Where are the rest of the cameras that we haven't seen that have been recorded. We want all the footage.
No-knock warrants are known to be high risk, and Mayor Jacob Frey has imposed a moratorium on them, except if there's a, quote, imminent threat of harm. Signs at Saturday's protest called for banning no-knock warrants altogether.
They're setting up this dynamic where people are seeing the other as a threat. And we've got to reimagine some of those interactions so that both law enforcement and people at large aren't put in these positions where someone is a threat and potentially having to use force.
The Minneapolis officers were helping with a St. Paul investigation, so an SPPD deputy chief was the one who approved the warrant in question. But sources tell WCCO it was Minneapolis that insisted on it being no-knock. An MPD spokesperson said each warrant process is completed on an individual case-by-case basis. We've also learned through sources that Judge Peter Kale was the judge who signed off on the no-knock warrant. Last year, Kale oversaw the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis officer convicted of murdering George Floyd.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so that lets you know this ain't no conspiracy to just kill black men. But let me explain something to you about a no-knock warrant. And they got this whole thing where they think they want to get rid of no-knock warrants. And that's dumb. A no-knock warrant serves a purpose. There's a purpose for a no-knock warrant. You need to have no-knock warrants. Because every time you go to serve a warrant or every time you going to search a place or something like that, you don't want to say, hey, it's Minneapolis police. We're here to come in and serve a warrant. Can you open the door? You don't want to have to do that. And the reason being is because there are a lot of situations where you need the element of surprise, not just to get your bad guy, but for everybody's safety. You need to be able to have the authority to actually shock and wake up a motherfucker to where they disoriented, and you have that advantage. You definitely need no-knock warrants. So this whole business of protesting against no-knock warrants, the reason why they doing it, because there's a bunch of motherfuckers who are not police officers, ain't never been in a law enforcement situation that want to get rid of no-knock warrants. That's all this is. Everybody's talking about, what about Breonna Taylor? Breonna Taylor shot at the goddamn police. And Breonna Taylor was with the plug. She was hanging and kicking it and sleeping with the dope boy. She was the bank for the dope man. Now, everybody I know don't want to say it, there's no, man, look, dope dealers don't come to and from your location unless you doing business with that dope dealer. That's it. That's it and that's all. But here's the other part to this. When you execute a no-knock warrant, there is a way to do it. And here is where I make my point of saying that this was the police officer's fault because they executed the warrant improperly. They did not have the necessary equipment that they should have had executing a no-knock warrant. Because just like when you execute a no-knock warrant, you should be expecting the worst. You should be expecting the worst, period. It's a guy in here with a rocket launcher waiting to fire off this rocket when we come in the door. You should be thinking that way. So therefore, you should have the proper equipment. How the hell you doing a no-knock warrant and you don't have a ballistic shield? I have no idea. I have no idea. You not only, and in this situation, they had the keys. Give me the keys. And they gave them to him, like DJ Khaled said. You got the keys to this place, and you come in, and what were they going to do? Let's just say, when we see the video, let's just say that Amir was up, not sleep. He was up, and he was waiting on the police to come. I'm the bad guy. I'm the worst guy ever, and I'm waiting on these police officers to come through this door. The way they came in, 1, 2, or 3 of them would have probably got shot off top. If Amir was wide awoke and he heard somebody coming in and heard the key at his door and they would have came through, they would have got shot coming in the way that they did. So this is what happens when you have police officers who are not well trained coming in. They did not have a smart tactical plan. I don't know who the hell the sergeant was or whoever was heading this operation. It was poorly planned. It really was. The fact that they're coming in and they had a warrant that was going to give them access to not one, not two, but 3 apartments. What are y'all doing? What are y'all doing? So let's just go ahead and let's look and see exactly what happened in this shooting. And then we're going to go and I'm going to break down the video from there. Hold on 1 second so that you guys can actually see what took place. There we go. Yep. All right. So this is the actual body cam footage. This is actually what happened. And they're going to show it to you in two. They're going to show it to you in real time and they're going to show it to you in slow motion. So just watch. This is slow motion. No, this is not chopped and screwed. And there's the gun in his hand. There is a gun in his hand. And you can see, and this is something that people didn't point out here. You can clearly see his finger is not on the trigger. So his intention to shoot was not there. His aim was not there. He was literally a guy in his own place, sleeping with his gun, like most people do. Me included. Sometimes I have my gun under my pillow. Sometimes I have it on the nightstand. But even when I'm at home, my gun is on my hip right now. Right now, it's on my hip. When I'm in the house and when I get ready for bed, I take this gun off because this is my Glock. And because of the trigger on my Glock, I don't keep this gun sitting around the house. It's either in my holster on my hip or it's put up somewhere where my children cannot get to it. However, this is my bedside gun. It's my bedside gun for a reason. Number one, it has a thumb safety. You see that? Number two, it has a light. Number three, it has a laser. So there's method to my madness as to why I have this gun particularly by my bed. If I hear a bump in the night, this is the first thing I'm grabbing. My rifle is also next to my bed. Because if I hear some hustling and the bustling and I know I get multiple targets coming through the door, hey, but this is my first transition. Yes, I'm going to get to my rifle, but this is my first transition. Now, if I'm dead sleep, and this is just for anybody, if you dead sleep, the minute you are awake, you are not in control of in complete control of your faculties. How many times somebody woke you up and you be like, huh, what? What's going on? What's happening? My wife, she sleeps. I mean, a bird can fly by my house and my wife gonna wake up. I sleep way harder than my wife do. As a kid, I've always slept hard. So it's like for somebody to be disoriented because there's a no-knock warrant, and the first thing he hears is a bunch of motherfuckers yelling and kicking the couch that he laying on. I'm not gonna know what's happening at first. I'm not expecting the police. This guy wasn't even a part of the warrant. So they are technically not even looking for this guy. So how many people, this is a law-abiding citizen. And my point is the police should have expected this, which is why you don't run right in up on top of somebody because they might have a gun. That's how that police officer got shot at Breonna Taylor's house. How the hell you gonna know not one without a ballistic shield? I just don't know. Can somebody explain that to me? Explain let me tell you something. Me being the police, I got my vest on and everything. I'd be damned if I'm the first person through the door and I don't have a ballistic shield on a no-knock warrant. I'd be damned. I'm not going to do it, period, because of this. And let's just say somebody is waiting on my ass. Let's just say somebody is waiting on me. I don't want whatever the fuck they got. Because if I bust through the door, hey, the police, hey, police, and this motherfucker got an AK, I ain't got a chance. This motherfucker got an FN57 or a P90. I don't have a chance unless I'm wearing plates. And I don't want to take that chance because he could be lucky enough and the son of a bitch could get a headshot off. So I'm not coming through the door first on a no-knock warrant without a ballistic shield. I'm not doing it. It's stupid to do it. And if your police department can't afford a ballistic shield, then by golly, you dumb son of a bitches, you shouldn't be doing no-knock warrants. And I'm quite sure that the state of Minnesota and good old Minneapolis Police Department should have enough money to come through the door with their officers carrying a ballistic shield. Even though they paid George Floyd family $27 million and maybe that hit the budget. No, it didn't, because that's the insurance to pick that tab up. But they should have. You have to make sure that your officers are prepared to do the job that you're asking them to do. Which is why defunding the police in itself, the idea and the statement alone is dumb as hell.
Police search for it! Police search for it! Police hands!
This is real time. Dude didn't even see who it was. And I'm telling you like this. People saying, well, they said it was the police. They said the police. You coming through and I'm asleep, it's a bunch of noise. That's all I'm hearing. Because everybody's yelling. It's noise. It's startling. Yes. I get it. And I'm not the most alert at that time. Somebody just wake your ass up, clean out your sleep. You're not expecting the police. Worst case scenario, if I get awakened by strangers in my home, I'm automatically inclined to think they are bad guys. Period. I don't give a fuck who it is. SWAT come through my door right now. First thought, bad guys. Why? Because the police don't bust up in my motherfucking house every day. A bad guy would. I don't do shit to where the police looking for me. Now, here's the other thing to this. Even though Amir was not a part of the warrant, that don't mean that he didn't associate with people who was a part of this warrant. Because there's something that ties all this shit together. I don't know if the shit gonna come out now or later, but I promise you that Amir, whoever the hell they looking for this homicide, I bet you them motherfuckers knew Amir or Amir knew them motherfuckers. I'm just betting that. I could be wrong. I'm just speculating to say that that's a possibility. Just like with Breonna Taylor. She never sold drugs. Yeah, but she hung out with the dope dealers. Plain and simple. If I'm kicking it on the block and all my childhood friends was the folks, shout out to the GDs on 12 Deuce, and we hanging together and the police come up and say, get y'all little gang banging asses up against the wall, I'm not going to be the dumb one that says, sir, I'm not a gangster disciple. Please let me go. No, I'm going to be like, God damn, I shouldn't have been hanging with these niggas, man. Got me over this motherfucking wall. My daddy going to kill me if he find out that I'm the guy. That's what I'm going to be thinking. If you hanging out with them, you kicking it with them, that's who you associate with. Hey, you got to take the good and the bad to go along with it. All the niggas that gang banged in my hood, we all grew up together. Yeah, I knew them all. All the dope dealers in my neighborhood, yeah, we grew up together. I knew them all, but I wasn't on the corner with these niggas when they were serving. I wasn't hanging out with these niggas when they was going to shoot. I wasn't saying, hey, I'm going to go to goal with y'all, and then after goal, we can go finish playing some basketball. I didn't do that. Hey, man, y'all going to do that game bang shit? Go ahead, man. Holler at me when y'all get back. That's just what it is. So you have to take into account the good and the bad with this. And yes, in this situation, this was poor execution, which is why this guy's dead. That's just what it is. Because that man had every right to be asleep on his fucking couch. He had every right to be to have his gun, and you can clearly see he had his finger resting on the side of it. So it ain't like he knew and heard them coming in and was sitting there. I'm gonna act like I'm sleeping, and I'm gonna get up and I'm gonna shoot that. Nope. That's not how this was. That dude did not have the intentions that they tried to paint and the narrative they tried to put with it to say that this dude was a bad guy and he was with these bad guys. Yeah, I get it. But you as the police officer, number one, you are the professional. Number two, you are the tactically trained expert in this. And number three, you should have had the right equipment in place. You should have had the right equipment in place. Plain and simple. They should have came through that door, ballistic shield, because they had a key. It don't get no sweeter than that. Y'all had the element of surprise. You got the key. You come in, ballistic shield, hit the lock, hit that lock. Soon as that guy hits that lock, you open the door, you step into the doorway, because what you want with this no-knock warrant, you want to see what's going on first. We gonna creep up in this. We know not warrant. We gonna come up in here. Redmond got the ballistic shield up front, pistol right here. Come up in here. Oh, he sleep on the couch. Hang tight. I'ma announce. Police, get on the ground. Police, put your hands up. That gives you protection, and it gives this guy the what's up on what's happening. You want to no-knock warrant because in some instances you could be going in there for drugs. You trying to knock, somebody could be tossing dope out the window. Somebody could be flushing dope down the toilet. You can do a lot of stuff when you got to knock that door. Or if you announcing too early, people can go and get that gun they want to get. But when you got the key and you already in, all I want is to be able to see what's happening. Hang tight. Y'all hold up right here. I'm going to announce. Police, put your hands up, get your butt naked ass down on the ground, whatever the case may be. And then you let them know. If that guy gets up and he wants to shoot, he gonna see this ballistic shield, lights on it and everything. Nigga, ain't no dope dealer robbing motherfuckers coming through the door with a ballistic shield. It ain't never happened. Till I see a home invasion where the niggas got ballistic shields, ain't got no excuse. And the thing says police on the front. Now, he has to now make a choice to either put his hands up, or if he really want to get jiggy and he really want that action, hey, you got to shoot through a ballistic shield first, sir. That's how that's supposed to work. That's how that's supposed to work. All that extra, well, they could have been, and they could have did, and they should have did, and they would have did, but they getting the header, and the header, had you had your right equipment in place, you could have came into that unit a whole different way. Because the thing is, not only are you searching one, but you got to search 3 more. You don't know who's in 3 apartments. You don't know how many people are in 3 apartments. You don't know how many guns are in 3 departments. And because you don't know, you want to have your team be in the most safe and secure position possible to execute these warrants. Facts. Facts. That's just plain and simple. It don't get no better than that. That's what I'm going to want for my guys if I'm the sergeant. Hey, we need to make sure we can get through here, and we're going to get through it. We're going to do. I'm not going to be like, yeah, we just go all bust in, fan out. No, you do that when you knocking. If you no knock and got the key, I'm coming in as stealthy as possible because I want that element of surprise to where I can see all the moving parts now. Once I get in, I can see the moving parts. The other thing about it, if this time is right on this body cam, because sometimes that time can be wrong, it's 6:47 in the morning. It's 6:47 in the morning, y'all. That's just what it is. It ain't 6:47 at night. This is 6:47 in the morning, which is another reason why you execute those warrants in the early parts of the day like that. That's just what it is. So let's go ahead and let's look. I want to listen to and point out real quick what Mr. Tatum said that, like I said, I disagree with, because I felt that he kind of like was skewing this a little bit because he pro-police, and I get it. But in this instance, I'm gonna say you're wrong, Doc. So without further ado, let's go right here.
Podcasting platforms, the Beat Tatum Show. You can search it, but the link is in the description as usual. Y'all know what to do. Let's get into this. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies, go with me to Minnesota, specifically St. Paul. I don't know if how close St. Paul and Minneapolis, how close they are to one another. Y'all that live there, you know what it is. However, I'm going to break down the Amir Locke's shooting case. I'm going to go methodically through the entire case. We're going to watch the video. I'm going to explain to you why I believe that the police are justified in executing a search warrant and why I think that the young man, although unfortunate, may have more than just him, but the one who shot Amir Locke, that's the police officer that I'm referring to. So let's go from the top. St. Paul, Minneapolis, or St. Paul, Minnesota Police Department wanted assistance to conduct a search warrant related to a homicide. They went to the Minneapolis police SWAT team to help them execute a search warrant in
two police departments and ain't nobody got a ballistic shield. I just can't. I just can't. And I would say this, Danny, saying the Black Republican hustle is still in full effect. It ain't even like that. It ain't going there. Like I said, for the most part, I've agreed with Brandon Tatum on a lot of stuff. I just have. And it's like, and sometimes I just think that it's not a completely objective point of view, which is why I'm doing what I do. So it's like, hey, that's what it is. So I don't think that there's a hustle and all of that kind of stuff. I'm not going to roll with that. So we can bag up off of that.
St. Paul, okay? St. Paul Police Department did not initially request or want a request for a no-knock warrant. Now, being on a part of the SWAT team in a major city is the most foolish thing that you could ever think of on planet Earth, is to execute a search warrant where you believe a person who is involved in a homicide is without using a no-knock exception. All right, so Minneapolis Police Department said, look, our SWAT team ain't gonna do that unless we have a no-knock exception. And so therefore they went through, got a no-knock exception with the judge. I'm gonna explain that here in a second. And they executed the warrant.
And here's the thing, in the defense of the no-knock warrant and why they asked for it, it's because it gives you that advantage of that element of surprise. And I'm telling you, most of the time when you execute a no-knock warrant the right way, it works because it gives, Amanda Case, I'm very kind. It gives you the ability to have the element of surprise. And that's exactly what you want, which is another reason why most warrants are executed in the wee hours of the morning, especially for your bad guys, especially when you're trying to get dope on the table and all that kind of stuff. When you're trying to get dope and guns, you going after your worst bad guys, you want the element of surprise and you want to execute that warrant early in the day, in the wee hours of the morning. Yes, you do. Because that's when someone is more likely to be in, no pun intended, but that's when they tend to be sleeping. Thank you, CJ Gunn. I appreciate you. That's when they tend to be sleeping. So it's like, and I mean sleeping literally and figuratively. You're not your sharpest and you're not waiting on a guy to come busting through your door to try to rob you, try to kill you, or try to arrest you at 5 a.m. You just don't expect it. Day in and day out, your average criminal at 5 a.m. is one of the weakest times of their day. Because they've been up all day and all night expecting the worst. But when they get that time when they sleep, that 3 a.m. to about 6, that's the time when you want to be knocking on them doors. That's just what it is. 1 a.m., nigga still up playing Madden. He wide awake or playing that 2K. You don't want to bust in the door. You want to bust in the door and them thug niggas is up. Them niggas is up at 12 o'clock at night. They up. They up at 1 o'clock. They still on live playing that NBA 2K, working on their player. And they got their gun sitting right there. Bust in that door at 1 a.m., you going to probably get shot. I'm just telling you what I know. Them niggas are still up playing Call of Duty, playing whatever other games they playing. So that's why you got to execute this early in the morning, because these are prime time nigga sleep hours. That's just what it is. So that's why you do that. And a no-knock warrant gives you that added advantage, because when you do knock on that door, hey man, Cats gonna get woke up and they still gonna be like, hey, what's going on? 1 o'clock in the morning, nigga, I'm already up and I know what's going on. Let's get it.
Here is the video of the execution of the warrant looking for a person related to a homicide investigation. Wrote a film.
Now, see, and here's the thing. You throwing out the thing about saying the person they're looking for is a person who is involved of a homicide or has committed a homicide. That's true. However, because you're going into apartments, because you're going into other people's homes, there's a potential of it being more than just the bad guy in the house. What if that was my mama sitting on the couch and I'm the murderer? I'm in my bedroom, but my mama on the couch with her gun. Cause we in the hood, we got guns bedside, hand side, thigh side, lap side. Sitting on the coffee table with the weed. We got guns right there because of the environment that we live in. And I'm gonna tell you like this, you better. Because just like I'm out here in suburbia and I'm sleep with my gun bedside, I'm damn sure gonna be sleep, woke, in the shower, or wherever in the hood with my gun. In the worst of the worst neighborhoods, I'm gonna be even more alert and more and closer to my gun. That's just what it is. That's an expectation. And as the police, they should already have that expectation factored into their tactical approach. Get out your nose, bro.
And this is in slow-mo.
Now, here's the thing. The expectation to say they up now. No. I'm not going to necessarily be up and actually coherent. I'm not. I could be high. I could have just finished my doobie. I could have just, what, you know how you wake and bake? Well, after you bake, you can get sleepy. I done ate my Doritos. It's 6 o'clock in the morning. I done ate, done slept, had my thought over and then sent her home. And now I'm high, done ate, and I'm about to go into a good sleep. And if I'm a deep sleeper, this here ain't doing nothing for me. Why did he kick the couch? Because he saw the guy was still asleep. Plenty of niggas sleep under blankets. Plenty of people sleep under the covers. That's what they are for. A lot of people like to sleep, and I don't know why it's crazy like this, and I hate the people that do it, but those of us that want it to be cold on the outside of the room and then get up under the covers and it be warm under there, that's weird as shit to me. My wife likes sleeping like that, and I don't like it. I want it to be warm. People be laying up under there, and they have it where they, yeah. People sleep like that. This ain't just a thing where it's like, man, why is he under the blanket? Is he hiding something? No. People sleep like that. I hate having my head under the blanket. I don't do that. I just don't do it. But he kicked the couch and then they bagged up. Wouldn't it have been great to have had a ballistic shield right here and they've been about maybe 5 or 10 feet back to see what this guy want, to see what this guy gonna do?
Okay, so police search warrant. You can hear it. They're going to play it in fast motion, and it should be clear as the noonday sun. They're yelling search warrant, search warrant, search warrant.
Cash out.
Police officer kicks the couch. This kid comes up with a gun in his hand. And the officer...
And all he saw, and I'm going to tell you, shout out to Brandy, hit your boy with $15, and my man old Murder hit your boy with $10. Here's the thing. I'm putting your business out there, baby. Here's the thing. I understand why these police officers shot this guy. Because they shot him because all they thought was gun. That's all they did. They thought gun, shoot. That's it. Gun, shoot. Gun was in his hand. What hurts you? Hands. I see a gun in a hand. Most police officers are trained to just see that. However, just because you train gun shoot, you need to take into totality all of the circumstances. It's 6:45 in the morning. 6:45 in the morning. What are most people doing at 6:45 in the morning, especially homicide, people that commit homicides? They usually sleep at that time. They are usually sleep at that time. And if they have a gun, which you should expect, that don't mean that they're trying to shoot you. That don't mean that. And you have to assess that.
Use force against them. Now here's in real motion.
Please search for it! Please search for it! Please search for it! Hands! Get on the ground! Get on the fucking ground!
Okay, so let's watch that one more time, and I want you guys to diagnose this.
And here's my thing. It's like the fact that you came in and in 9 seconds, this dude is shot dead. I get the fact that you came in. We announced we was the police. But the whole point is, at what point did he point a gun at you? Well, he had a gun. That's his constitutional right to have a gun. He had the gun in his hand. Still his right. He had his finger off, resting on the slide. He hadn't aimed that gun. He hadn't taken a position to shoot that gun. And he did not have a clear understanding as to who was in his house. How can you determine from a dead sleep who's in your house in 9 seconds? All I'm saying is that is subjective than a motherfucker. You have to be one of the most alert sons of bitches on the planet to be able to wake up out of a dead sleep and identify somebody, not no banging knock. We talking about key knock. I came in with the key, homie. And to be able to come in with that, and in 9 seconds, you expect me to know that it's the police and to put my hands up and I'm in whatever hood I'm in? No way. That's not happening. It's just not happening. And my thing is, that's one of the main reasons why you come in with that key, you got your shield, you right there, you can see all of that. Hey, motherfucker, get your ass up off your couch, get your hands up. Get your ass up under that blanket, get your hands. You can do all of that behind that shield. So yeah, that 9 seconds may turn to 14. That 9 seconds may turn to 15. But you are still in a safe place. Your team is safe behind you, and you are executing that warrant with the element of surprise, doing it that way. Knowing what you're doing and why you're doing it and how you're doing it. All right, now if this stupid motherfucker want to get up and start talking crazy with his gun in his hand after he sees us, let's drop his ass like a hot potato. I get it. We gonna air his ass out like a flat tire. That's what we gonna do. But we still have to get in and not only identify ourselves, but we have to get whoever we looking for the opportunity to see that it's us. Plain and simple, because you can bust up into anybody's house like that. Be like, I said police. Yeah, but that don't mean just because now if this 6 o'clock in the evening, I get it. But you would still have that shield in case I am the worst motherfucker to ever walk the face of the earth. And my job and my whole purpose is to kill as many police officers as I can. And if they come up in here, I'm a up thing. Wouldn't you want to have a shield, or you just want to rely on your vest? No. Jonathan said, you in this I'm from Minneapolis. This apartment was not located in the hood at all. It's on the nice side of town. Even more so, why you should be prepared for the worst. You should be prepared for it, period. Whether you in the ghetto or whether you in the affluent suburb or whatever the case may be, anybody who busts up in your house with a gun and you got a gun, you are naturally going to grab your pistol. You're just naturally going to do that.
With me, right? They do a no-knock exception. They mean they don't have to knock on the door. They open the door and immediately start yelling, police search warrant, police search warrant, police search warrant, police search warrant. Now, think about this for a minute. Who do you think this is? Now, I know a lot of people go, oh, they may be people home invading. Let's keep it 100. Yep. The people who are involved in home invasions don't sound like this when they saying search warrant, search warrant, search warrant.
He's correct. But also what he's missing and where you wrong in this one is just because you bust in saying it don't mean that a sleeping motherfucker heard it. Somebody who sleep ain't gonna hear everything that's being said to them clearly when they are getting up. Even when you've just seen, I can't think of the name of the movie. God damn it. What is the name of that movie? It's the military movie where the guy comes in and they in the barracks and everybody sleep. I want to say it's Platoon. And the sergeant, he wakes everybody up by holding the garbage can, the steel garbage can, and he takes his baton and he's clanking it around. And everybody know to get up, but they don't know what the hell is going on. But he's waking them up and he's startling them. That's Platoon or the Full Metal Jacket. It's one of them two. I think it's Full Metal Jacket. You might be right, no brass. But he's waking them up and he's just making this noise. He's waking them up. They don't know what the hell he's saying, but they do know, get your ass up. They do know they do know there's noise. I'm waking up. This Full Metal Jacket. Thank you. Because I think that's when old boy, my man, Vincent D'Onofrio, whatever his name is, he stole a donut or something like that. And they all got in trouble for it. Full Metal Jacket, yeah. So he's making the noise just to get them up. And that's the thing with the no-knock warrant is Vincent D'Onofrio. Thank you. Thank you, Sean. So he's just waking them up. They don't know what the hell is going on. It could be an air raid. It could be, hey, we being attacked. Or he could just be like, hey, I just want to make sure and tell you guys how good of a job y'all doing and y'all can go back to sleep. So it's like it's still not a clear. You can't say that because somebody's getting awakened by you saying police, 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 that from the first one, you know who it is and oh shit, oh, jig is up. You're not going to think that. It's just noise awakened. Plain and simple. Somebody come and they tell me to get the fuck up out the bed. My first thing gonna be like, what? What's going on? My wife has woken me up and said, hey, babe, I think I hear something. I'm like, what? My first thing is like, yes, I just heard you say you heard something. I'm now getting my rifle and I'm going to investigate. I'm not doing that. It's going to be startling those first few seconds. So you can say those 9 seconds, since we're being so subjective here, those 9 seconds could really only be 3 to the person who's just been awakened. And the first time that I'm awakened, I'm going to tell you right now, I don't know a man. I don't know a man alive whose first thought when they are awakened to submit. You come and wake a nigga up and you wake him up the wrong way, a nigga might swing on you. Am I not lying? Come and wake a nigga up the wrong way. A nigga wake up on your ass and be just like this. Or might swing on you. You find an old army, ask an old army vet, somebody who done seen some action. You wake their ass up the wrong way. You will fuck around and get fucked up or get killed. Just telling you. That's just what it is because it's the most men in that situation, it's a natural reflex. If I get startled out of my sleep, my first thing to wake up is to, oh, wait, I'm on the defense. I'm not submitting. I'm on the defense or I'm on the offense. Let me go, God, it's time. Shit, it's time. I'm turning up. That's just for me in my environment that I'm in. Now, when you watch those A&E movies where the white people are asleep in their wonderful suburban affluent neighborhood because they don't have these problems, they have not been raised in the hood, then yes, their first initial thing is, hey, what's going on? What can I do for you? How can I help you? They're much more accommodating because they're not used to being waken up in a situation the way their ass might be on the line. When you see them A&E movies, them A&E shows where they do the I survived, those women ain't getting startled. And then I didn't know what was going on. I was like, is there something wrong, sir? Who I don't know, who's just broken into my home? You want sex? Oh my God. I never thought I would have to do this, but I'm going to. That's not how men wake up. Men wake up and what the fuck? Hey, that's how you gonna wake up. You have to take that into account. You waking up some nigga or some young nigga anyway, you have to take that into account. This nigga might wake up on the other side of the bed.
They probably sound like some hood dudes. I have never been to a call where a home invasion was done by a bunch of white dudes. I'm just keeping it 100. Hispanic, black dudes doing it, acting like police. We've heard of that before. But do they sound like this? Do they sound like this? Police search warrant, police search warrant, police search warrant, hands, get on the ground, police search warrant. And just think about this for a minute. I want y'all to just think for a minute. And a logic.
Shout out to my man InTheDrugWarToday.com. Hit your boy with $10. Thank you so much. He said rehab is the only dope I need. My man, thank you. I appreciate it.
Perspective. This kid is supposedly asleep.
Come on, man. Supposedly sleep? There is no way that you can just reasonably watch this and think that this guy supposedly sleep. That dude was knocked the fuck out. How do you know that, Brian? Well, normally when you wake up, if you already up, you gonna be up. Like I'm getting up. I'm not gonna get my couch kicked where I'm sleeping and then roll over to the other part of the couch and then take the cover off. Nope. If I'm already up, the first thing I'm going to do is take that cover clean off my head. Why? So I can see. If that dude was up already, he would have either had the cover already off or he would have took it off. And that's one of the reasons why when I saw him talk about this, I said, yeah, you being a little disingenuous on that one, bro. You know good and doggone well that that dude was asleep. Period. People talk about Breonna Taylor being asleep or whatever. Yeah, Breonna Taylor, you were asleep till you bust at the cops, motherfucker. You clearly saw and assessed what was going on, woke up, saw what was happening, and you decided to shoot down the hallway. You didn't assess to see if it was the police or not. You bust down the hallway. Ain't nobody gonna do that. You're not gonna be asleep because you're putting yourself at a disadvantage. If he was going to do that, well, let's say if he was under the sheets and he was lying in wait for the police, then I would have had my finger on the trigger when I took the cover off. And I would have took the cover off like, yeah, let's get it. That's what I would have did.
At what point is he not asleep? That's my question.
Great question.
At what point is he not asleep? Is he not asleep when they open the door? Is he not asleep when they started yelling?
He sleep.
Is he not asleep when they kick the couch? At what point is he not?
That's when he's awakened. That's why when he got up on the other part of the couch, he had his finger resting on the side because he wasn't ready to shoot. That's muscle memory. You don't put your finger on that trigger until you are what? Ready to shoot. If I got my finger here, I'm still assessing. I'm still trying to see what's going on. I'm looking to see what's happening. As I'm awakening, if I grab my gun in the middle of the night or in the wee hours of the morning, my first thought is not this. It is this. It's natural. It's muscle memory. The only time I even begin, even when I'm resting here, when I'm tucked ready, my finger rests here. It's muscle memory. That's what I do. Now, yes, I'm a trained police officer and I've had plenty of training throughout the years from my father and from the department. Yes, I get it. But I do this naturally. The only time my finger goes on the trigger of a gun is when I am presenting. When I go and I'm here, I'm resting just like this all day long. My finger does this. No matter what gun I got in my hand, my Glock, my Beretta, my whatever, I got it just like this. The minute I start doing this, now my finger is a little more itchy to move. But once I see something, then bang. Now I'm ready. The one time I did when I broke leather on the job and thought I was going to have to shoot me a motherfucker, my finger did not go on that trigger until I saw that motherfucker in that doorway standing there and not following my commands. Because now I'm thinking, oh, this motherfucker, he getting some thoughts of his own. So yeah, he just might come from the side of the door, behind the door with a gun. He might just up thing. But the whole time while I'm doing that, I'm watching hands and I'm here. That's what I'm doing.
Sleep. That's what I want to know. And then at the point at which he wakes up, how did he get from that point of waking up to this point?
Because he's waking up. He's actually waking up, Brandon. He's actually waking up. He got his couch kicked and he's waking up. So what is he doing? He's waking up to see what the fuck is going on. That's what I'm saying. He's actually waking up to see what's going on. I already know that there's something close by me because it didn't kick my couch. I don't know if these niggas are police or whoever. It could have been sweet baby Jesus coming to take me home with the sweet chariot parked outside to carry me on up to glory. Either way, I still got to recognize that it's Jesus first. Hey, hold on. Oh, Jesus. I'm sorry. Let me put this gun down. And he better be standing there with some holes in his hand saying, hold on, my son. Even Jesus ain't gonna be like, man, get your butt naked ass up and come on up here to heaven. Even Jesus ain't gonna do that. Jesus gonna at least say, hey, my son, wake up. He gonna let some light shine in from heaven or something. He gonna let his aura come around or set a burning bush next to my bed or something. Even Jesus ain't gonna just bust in and kick my motherfucking couch like, boy, get your saved ass up. Oh. Get your saved ass up and come on up here to heaven. We going up to heaven, boy. The rapture's here. I'm coming to get all the rest of you niggas that ain't gonna get caught up in the rapture. Come on, get your ass up. Kicking the couch. I'm just not gonna be that. I'm not gonna be that coherent coming from a dead sleep. I'm just not. And the first time I do get awakened, I'm going to want to try to find out what's going on, especially because there's a lot of fucking noise. At this point, yes, they're identifying themselves as police, but to most people, this is going to sound like a bunch of noise. Now, as I get and I come out that sleep and I get coherent, yes, I'm going to hear police, police. But the fact is, he wasn't waiting for the police. He was just getting startled and got woke up like, damn, what's going on? Hey, click that like button while y'all watching this too and hit that donate button. This is some good commentary shit.
He has a gun in his hand. He has the gun in his hand. So at what point did he wake up, ladies and gentlemen, is my question. If he woke up when they kicked the couch, how does he have a gun already in his hand?
Great question. Great question. If he's under the couch, if he's on the couch, under the covers, like I've said, I've done this plenty of times before. My wife can testify to this. I've been asleep with, if I'm sleeping on my stomach, I will sleep with my gun under my pillow. If he's laying on the couch, and here's the thing, if he's the type of person who does what? Sleeps with the covers over his head, yes, I'm going to want my gun right there with me. So that explains your question, asked and answered. Because I sleep, I'm one of these crazy people that sleep with the covers over their head. Yes, I'm going to have my gun under the pillow with me. I just am. Why? Because if I need to grab it, I know exactly where it's at. I know exactly where it's at. Up under here with me in my cover igloo, I'm going to have the gun under there with me. Yes, that makes sense in this instance.
Now, it ain't nothing against the law to sleep with a gun in your hand. But I think that is very weird that a person sleeps with a gun in their hand and supposedly they get startled and they wake up and point the
disingenuous. He's saying he would sleep like this and get startled and woke up. No, he was under the cover. Gun was probably right there. And I'm going to tell you like this. The fact that it was under the cover with him don't necessarily mean he had his gun on it. But once his goddamn couch got kicked, yes, sir, I'm grabbing my gun because I don't know what the hell is going on. don't know what's going on. That's just what it is. And I'm telling you, as a police officer, you know people sleep like that. People sleep with their gun under their pillow all the time. That is not crazy. And you can clearly see he was practicing proper trigger discipline. He had his finger resting on the side of the frame.
It's already in the hand. I'm led to believe, I mean, I don't think he would do it. It's no reason for him to try to, boss up against the police. But somehow he must have been up long enough to grab a gun if he didn't already have it in his possession. That's my assessment. He must have been up long enough to reach for a gun and grab it off the floor. Man. I'm a gun connoisseur. I have guns everywhere. I have guns up here. I have guns in my room. I have my rifle set up in my room. Every night I go to sleep. Just in case somebody get jiggy, I'm ready. But I don't have it in my hand. And I'm the most.
And there's no way to see if he had it in his hand. But because he got startled, I'm grabbing it. Because I don't know who's in my house. I don't know who's in my house. And I'm telling you like this, it's a natural reaction. I've been asleep, had my gun on the way my old bed was at my old house in Chicago. The way my bed was, it was like the bed, and then it came to the headboard, but the headboard had like cabinets and stuff on it. It's actually my daddy's old bed frame. And it was like there's a shelf that's right there. And I used to keep my gun there. And I was asleep. And I heard something at the door. I instantly woke up, gun in hand, and I stopped. First thing I grabbed was my gun. I was asleep, and I woke up, and I was like, gun right here in my hand, finger resting on the slide, and I'm listening to see what's going on. Now, it turned out to be my goddamn brother coming in, but I heard the keys. That's the only thing that took me off and said, Bert. He's like, what? I'm like, motherfucker, say something. But that was my instant thing. When I first heard the door, because I didn't hear his keys. I didn't initially hear his keys coming to the door. I didn't hear his keys turning the lock. I heard the actual opening of the door. And because that door just made a lot of noise when you open, it was a heavy door. So it made a lot of noise when it opened. I initially got up and was like, and I'm listening. I ain't on no, who that? Who there? Who in my house? I'm not doing no stupid shit like that. I immediately got up and I'm quiet as hell. And I'm listening. Because if I hear niggas whispering, it's go time. If I don't hear no keys, or I hear multiple motherfuckers coming in quick, it's go time. But I'm up and I'm listening, first thing. So that's why the gun is in his hand, and that's why his finger's resting on the slide. That's just what it is. And y'all please try to hold y'all questions, because I'm going to answer them in just a second. But I can't read. I'm not good enough to read that chat that fast and watch this. But I'm going to read John Costello. He said, why wasn't the officer who was directly in front of Locke have his body camera released? They released the cam that was off the side that would answer a lot of questions. Well, here's the thing with the body cam, getting all of the different body camera angles and all that. You can get the camera angles, but this footage is good enough to assess what happened. There isn't any body camera. I mean, I think that the more information you get, the better. But you can pretty much assess what happened here from what you've seen. So I believe that all of the footage should be released. I believe that once the family sees it, you should release that footage within 48 hours. That's just my own personal. I think that should be nation law, Jack. And yes, you're right, Albanian. Yes, that's my training. I'm assessing. I'm tactically trained. Most niggas ain't. I'm tactically trained. I have been around guns my entire life. My daddy was on HBT. He taught us well. So I know what's up. I know how it goes. My daddy taught us how to, the shit he learned at HBT, the shit he showed us. When he would go out for his monthly training and stuff like that with his HBT with the hostage barricade terrorist team in Chicago. So he taught us the shit that he knew. So we would be tactically trained, but everybody else ain't trained like that. They don't know. But that's a natural reflex. What he's trying to say he shouldn't have done, that's a natural reflex.
most paranoid dude on planet Earth. He has it in his hand or he got it in his hand. And in between the time of waking up, getting a gun in your hand, you have to be able to hear them saying, police search warrant, get on the ground, show your hands, police search warrant, police search warrant, police search warrant. Listen to him. I'm going to play it one more time.
Police search warrant! Police search warrant! Police search warrant! Hands! Get on the ground! Get on the fucking ground!
Okay.
And my thing is, too, the fact that y'all came in that way, knowing that there's a potential bad guy with a gun, why would you run up on him? That was my same thing with Tamir Rice being shot. If you got a report and it looks like Tamir Rice is in the park, ain't shot nan bullet, ain't fired nan round, but you're under the impression that he's in the park with an AK-47. And I'm telling y'all, a lot of people, y'all may not have seen an AK-47. Y'all may not know how devastating an AK-47 is. That 7.62 bullet or 7.39 bullet, that is a devastating round. People who usually get shot with AKs usually die right there. And if I got an AK-47 as close as those police officers got to Tamir Rice, they put their lives in danger. Because if he really was a bad guy with an AK, I don't want to be 10 yards away from a motherfucker with an AK. I just don't. 7.62 by 39. Thank you, Wolf Bear. Boy, I love my members, baby. That's what I'm talking about. They get me right. An AK-47, I don't want to walk up on that. I don't. I want to be 100 feet away. I want to be 100 yards away, damn near saying, hey, you with the AK-47, put the gun down, this is the police. That's what I want to do. He didn't have an AK, but it looked like an AK. It looked like an AK-47 or AK-74, if I can remember. That's what the toy gun looked like. But I'm just telling you, you don't want to be that close to a bad guy with a gun. You just don't. That's not smart police tactics. That's not being smart. I'm not going to run up and get face to face with a motherfucker who could potentially have a gun or Uzi or MAC-10 or whatever the case may be. If I know there's somebody in the park with a chopper, I'm going to get there, but I'm going to get there on that loudspeaker. Hey, man, put the gun down before I get my rifle out and shoot. That's what I'm doing.
Now, let's go through methodically what's going on with the family saying, and I just want you guys to know that on this website, and I'll pull it up for you. On the website, the police did the most. Body-worn camera, I'm gonna give you a link to this. Body-worn camera, images, still shot images of the scene, which shows him with the gun pulling it out on the police officers, unfortunately. And
when you see that gun right there, he's still under the covers. And let's just say if he was scared and he was going to shoot the club up, that's even more the reason why you don't want to get that close to him. Because y'all coming in there, no ballistic shield, y'all ain't got shit but vest on. Like a motherfucker can't get a lucky headshot off. Are you serious? Are you serious? I tell the story. I think I've told this story a couple of times about my daddy telling me a story about a police officer when he had first got on the force, how one of his guys he was in the academy with got killed. And he got killed by one of the luckiest shots that I've ever heard of being made. Let me explain. Police officers pulled this guy over, routine traffic stop. Tags were bad, right? The guy gets out, he pulls over, gets out, and takes off running. Back in the late 70s, early 80s, what do police officers do when you see a guy get out of car and start running? You get out and you start running after him. Guy is running, okay? He's running, top speed. He pulls his gun out and literally not looking back at all. He literally takes his gun like this, pow, one shot hits the police officer in the eye, killed him instantly. Was that his intention to shoot that cop in the eye? Hell no. But he got off a 1 in a 10 billion% shot shot off. He couldn't make that shot again if you paid him $10 million. He couldn't make that shot again if it was to save his life. You're running, pull your gun out without looking back. One shot, pow. He turned around and he shot once just to get the police. He wanted to scare the police off of him. So what will most police do when you hear gunshot? You're going to take cover. He shot one time and got the luckiest shot off you could possibly get. Hit the police officer who's chasing him right in the eye. Dead right there. That's just what it is. That's why you don't get that close. DJ Brad, I don't know why you keep saying you hate guns, but I don't understand that. Either make a point or make articulate yourself or just stop saying it. But I'm just telling you, that's what could have happened. And in this situation, he could have gotten off a shot like that. The closer your target is, the better chances you have of hitting that person. So why am I going to run up on this guy with just my vest on? I don't know what kind of gun he got. I don't know if he's trying to kill me or if he's not, or if he's just an average law-abiding citizen sleep on his couch with the covers over his head in his home, which is what I believe he was here. Could he been associated and affiliated with the bad guys they're looking for? Abso-fucking-tootly-lootly, as Ned Flanders would say. But as a police officer, it is your job to be prepared, to know what you're going into, and to have the best tools available so that you can make the arrests, which is what you're there for, as quickly and as safely as possible.
They go through a whole slew of stuff, which I think is kind of weird, but they put it all out there. There is no question of transparency. The citation here, medical examiner, everything that you need to know, even the EMS response, you may not interpret none of this stuff. Photos that were released, body cam photos of things at the scene, the press release, the police release. And
here's the thing, that's a great point, Cuban Organis. Cuban Organis said he fell asleep with a glass of wine in his hand, only to wake up discombobulated and spilled the glass of wine all over him. How about this? Let me take it a step further. How many times have you heard of somebody sleep with a cigarette lit in their hand and they wind up dead because they set themselves on fire? How about that? How many times have you heard of someone falling asleep with a lit cigarette and they died because by the time they woke up, their entire couch, chair, room that they were in was engulfed in flames? How many times have you heard that story happen? How many times have somebody went to sleep with a lit cigarette and got woken up because the cigarette is now starting to burn them? Or there's a small fire already started and they were lucky enough to catch it in time. But there are plenty of people who've fallen asleep, lit cigarette in hand, and the cigarette ashes fall on the chair, fall on the couch, and ignite. And by the time they awaken, the place is engulfed in flames and they can't get out. And they die right there. You'll see them on the floor, dead, to where they tried to get up. And by the time they got up, it was so much smoke and so much fire that they were dead. They couldn't get out. They didn't have enough time. At what point did they wake up then? At what point are you awake? When the flames is on my ass. I thought that somebody finally cut the heat on in the place. That's why I kept sleeping. It was warm. Then it got hot.
Initial police report, all of that is here. So if anybody have a question about what happened at the scene, do your due diligence and go research it. Now, this article, and I don't forget who it's from, CBS Minnesota, which local news, they always do a better job than national news. National news is sensationalized. Local news have a little more stuff. So they go through methodically and talk about different things. Obviously, the recovery of the handgun, the picture of what the police did, the medical exam, the search warrant, and different things like that. The evidence that was recovered from the scene, forced entry without notification.
That's what I want to get
Specific
to.
for a particular house, you have to show evidence that whoever you're looking for has been at that house, has frequented that house. You have to show the judge that you have a reason to believe that a murder suspect is in this particular address. You have to show why you believe they're at that address and not another address. And you have to show a judge that there is a level of exigency to force entry without notification.
Now, here's the reason why I said, and I agree with him on this, why you need no-knock warrants, because there's a lot that goes into a warrant, period, let alone a no-knock. There's a lot of information and evidence that you have to have in for a warrant to even get granted. For a judge to give you a warrant, you got to come with the shits. You got to have it. All the evidence, surveillance, whatever the case may be, you have to have enough evidence to say, hey, we have reason to believe and we have evidence that points us to this person's place, this particular address, or this particular person here to show, hey, this is where we need to go to get our bad guy. That's just like that black lady who was naked when CPD came and busted up in the wrong place. That's why I was totally against what the hell CPD did. How the hell you got an address and you didn't vet the address? So the officers involved didn't vet the address. The sergeant didn't vet the address. Y'all went to a judge, gave this judge the address. The judge like, okay, well, based on the information that you gave me and the evidence you presented, yes, let's go ahead. Then y'all asses go in there and ain't nobody double check the shit? Did nobody complete the paperwork? That's exactly why that black lady who was standing there butt ass naked all that time, scared out of her mind because they had the wrong address. She should have got that, whatever she got. I think she got like $3 million or whatever the case may be. Yup, because y'all didn't do y'all damn job. How the hell do you go ask for a warrant and you don't vet the address? Nobody did? And y'all didn't think to do that until after about 15 minutes in, y'all see, maybe we are at the wrong house. You don't say, no shit, Sherlock. Really? That's ridiculous. And the fact that y'all wouldn't even cover up a ass naked woman or man for that matter. What the fuck do you guys need to have them standing there naked for? The person that you got, if anything, I would have got that person covered and got him out the house. Ma'am, I'm sorry, get your butt naked ass over here. We're going to get some blanket and sheet on your ass. And then we're going to, once I get a clear, we're going to get this sheet and this blanket around your ass. Then we're going to take you outside, sit you in the car. We'll talk to you in a second while we search. Then while we searching, fuck, let's get us some clothes. It took a female officer who arrived after the entry was made to actually say, well, goddamn, can we not get this lady something? Can we not get her some clothes? Because you had a bunch of dumbass cops standing around. Man, y'all think this is right? What y'all see? I don't know. What y'all think? I don't know. Y'all didn't know shit until all this shit went down? No. That makes no sense whatsoever. Wouldn't it be possible to stake them out until they leave instead? No, that's not what you're doing when you're trying to find a bad guy, R2. You're trying to get your bad guy. You want to get your bad guy. You want to surprise your bad guy. You want to get him under arrest. Because if you think that person is there, if that dude who was there, he could have had a death wish and be like, I'm going all out if the police come catch me. You never know, which is why you want to be prepared for the worst. And being prepared for the worst is not no ballistic shield running up on a motherfucker under a cover with a kick in the couch. That is not being the most tactically prepared for a situation like that. No way.
Meaning that you have to prove to a judge in a sworn statement that this person is armed, that you have reason to believe that they're dangerous, that there could be an immediate destruction of evidence if the person is alerted before police have an opportunity to arrest them.
Like I said before, niggas can flush dope. Niggas can ditch guns. Niggas can ditch dope. They can toss that shit out the window. And unless a police officer sees or a witness sees said dope, said gun, said murder evidence, or whatever other evidence being discarded, you can't place it. You can't put it on them. You can't put it on them. So that's why one of the reasons why a no-knock makes sense. And in this instance, looking for a homicide, a person who's committed a homicide, basically a killer, this is exactly why you want to see what the fuck is going on first, and you want the element of surprise. No, they didn't have the wrong apartment, Calvin, because they had a warrant to actually enter 3 apartments. Trace. They had a warrant to enter 3 apartments. The property owner or the person who's in charge of that unit, them units, whatever, probably gave the police their keys. Couple of reasons. I don't want y'all to just bang in and kick in the door and tear up the door, because that's what shit I'm gonna have to pay for. And also the police, probably being smart, should have asked for the, hey man, we got a no-knock warrant here. We need to go into apartments 2A, 2B, and 2C. Do you have keys you can give us? Dude's like, probably, yeah, go ahead. Get out how you live.
You have to indicate who lives there, who the registered owner of the apartment complex. All of these things, or somebody who's on the lease, all of these things have to be thoroughly articulated to a judge.
Yes. And here's the thing. You have to take into account, as a police officer, not only the bad guy that you're looking for, but potential friendlies, potential visitors, potential kids, relatives, boo things, side pieces, mamas, grandmamas. Anybody could be in that house aside from the person who you said to believe is in that house or that apartment. Just like in Breonna Taylor's situation. That dude that was there, that was just her friend. They weren't even together, because I think that dude was a gay friend or whatever. He was just there with her, spending the night. He wasn't a part of the warrant. So you have to take that into account. Hey man, there could be some friendlies in here. There could be some civilians in here that don't know what the fuck going on. He could be in there with a prostitute. He could be in there with an Instagram model. You don't know. Which is why you want to come in with the best protection possible, and you want to identify yourself and see what's happening. So I can see the guy who's trying to run and go to the bathroom with the dope. I can see the guy who could potentially be coming out the bed and say, hey, I got one here. I got 2 over here. Hey, freeze, don't move. Get your butt naked ass down on the ground. You can do all of that, which is why you need to be able to have a no-knock warrant.
That the judge then reviews, and you have sworn in good faith that these are true statements under the penalty of perjury in prison time. Actually, it's on the affidavit. And the judge will read through it and say, you have enough to get a warrant, or I will certify this warrant.
Yes.
You have enough. And no knock exception is an additional element that you have to prove to a judge. And the judge then have to say, based on the totality of what you have presented to me, is reasonable.
Exactly.
And it is applicable in this situation, that you should not knock on this door, and that speed and surprise of action is most appropriate to execute this warrant to mitigate violence in the death of.
And that's my point. It's like you want that so that, and like I said before, it's a safety feature for both parties. I want to catch the bad guy, and I want to catch the bad guy by surprise, because I want to be able to keep this bad guy from making a bad decision that can not only jeopardize his life, but the lives of the other people that's there. Kwame Brown, oh man, Kwame, go ahead on, man. Great show. Keep up the good work. You're becoming better than that other guy. Let me tell you something, man. If I could become half, and I mean half, of the other guy, Tommy Sotomayor, you know his name. Stop playing. Hey, I'm doing good. And you want to tell me how good I am, hit that Cash App. Mark, you ain't doing that. Stop by to tell me that, but ain't stop by to hit that Cash App. Go ahead on, player. Yeah, I know it's a troll account. but I still want to be able to say, and shout out to Chef Talk. Shout out to Carcino. Got to get these weak weasels out of here. It is what it is. Don't congratulate me, nothing. Hit my cash app. Don't need your approval. Right, I got two, I can palm the ball. Just saying. But you have to realize that that's exactly what you are looking for. And when you have that no-knock warrant, you need that element of surprise. I don't care what nobody say. All that, we shouldn't do it because in the black community, black folks are always getting the butt end of it. Nope. Because just as how this no-knock warrant went south and went the wrong way, I can tell you there are plenty of other no-knock warrants that worked out just fine when properly executed and the proper tools are in place to ensure everyone's safety. I've seen plenty of no-knock warrants go the right way because they were executed properly. And that's the problem with this no-knock warrant. It ain't the no-knock warrant that's the problem. It's the execution of the police officers, which is the police officers' responsibility and the department's responsibility to train those police officers. That's what this is about. That's exactly what this is about.
Police officers. That's pretty much how you do it. It's not something that police officers do. They wake up one day and they go, I want a search warrant. I think you're up there. It is a thorough process that involves informants, snitches, spying, whatever you want to call it. You got a thorough.
Yes, so that answers the other question that somebody asked earlier about surveillance and all that kind of stuff and watching to see when the guy leaves. Nope. There's a lot of this stuff that has already taken place. So you know what's happening already. You know what's going on. Brandon says, stop it. Stop, Brian. That's white boy tactics. What's white boy tactics? Let them go, Fair Play. That's all I'm saying. Articulate yourself, Brandon. So that's all I'm saying. When you're talking about saying, hey, this is why we need for those people that's trying to, because they protesting now, and you see them niggas was protesting in their cars because it's cold outside. Them niggas ain't that pro-black. Niggas ain't pro-black enough to be out there when it's cold. They talking about bringing in all of the National Guard. I promise you, as long as that temperature stay under 30 degrees, ain't not nan nigga coming out the bus window. I promise you that. Ain't not nan nigga gonna protest when it's cold. Cold climate is kryptonite for niggas that want to run the streets and tear shit up. Protesters alike. They ain't doing it. They not gonna do it. In Chicago, one of the safest places to be right now is in Chicago because it's cold as hell outside. You see, it ain't been no 82 niggas shot in a weekend because it's cold. Them niggas get that cold. Hey, nigga, I ain't going out there. They can have that. No, nigga, we ain't going out to them BDs. Them BDs gonna get it today. It's all good, Brandon. Them BDs can have it today. Ops gonna get by when it's cold. These niggas hate that cold. Believe that. Some of the safest times in the city is when it's cold outside. And niggas that's from Chicago, they know. And I know up in Minnesota, them niggas ain't just got cold, they got snow. Nigga, I ain't got no galoshes to go out here and shoot these niggas. I only got these mics on. Nigga, I ain't going out there. I ain't gonna get no salt on these 13s I'm wearing. Boy, you crazy. I got you, Brandon. It's all good. Niggas like, I ain't gonna go out there and get my 11s messed up with this salt. Nope. Them niggas can have it this weekend. We ain't going out there. Anything we do gonna be from inside this car. Now we can go and let the window down and shoot at them, but I ain't getting out the car going after no niggas. And I ain't protesting, holding up no sign outside unless it's the daytime. We can protest when the sun is out, when it's like 47 or 50. It get below 30, nigga, I ain't going out. And don't let it be sub. Don't let it be no -2. Boy, please. You can, let me tell you something. If it's 10 degrees or less, You could walk through Inglewood with 2 money phones in your hand and ain't a nigga gonna say nothing to you or stop you. Them streets gonna look like a ghost town. They ain't gonna do it. Thugs take the day off when it's cold outside at night in Chicago. Believe that. I'm just telling you what I know. The streets is quiet and the night is quiet out there. If somebody getting shot at, it's from a vehicle or from a window of a house. That's it. They ain't gonna do it. They gonna let you have it. He said, I'm on 31st and State. You know good and well, them niggas ain't coming outside on 31st. Back when they had the Robert Taylors was quiet. Any violence that took place was inside them buildings. Niggas wasn't outside fighting and shooting and all that kind of shit when it was cold outside. That's why Juicy, exactly, CJ Gunn, that's why Juicy Smollett got the side eye. Like, niggas, negative 22? And you said some what? What? Nigga, ain't no niggas coming out to put no MAGA country niggas coming outside to, no, it's too cold. Nope. We gonna investigate this one, Juicy. Juicy Smollett, had he done this in the summertime in Chicago, Juicy Smollett might have gotten off.
This could be an investigation that could have lasted for a significant amount of time. I'm not sure with this particular investigation, but it's not easy to get these. And judges can reject you and say, nah, not enough. That's not enough for you to go in somebody's.
And here's the thing about that. Most of the time with a warrant, especially when you got a good judge, you got certain judges that are assholes. You got certain judges that be like, nah, you got to get more. But the most part, most judges, they want these police officers to do what they got to do and to do their job. So if you got just enough, they're going to let it ride. If you got enough to technically say what it is and what you got just enough evidence, you ain't got to have a stack of evidence. If you got enough evidence to get that probable cause to execute that warrant, most judges going to sign off. Because the thing is, when you getting that warrant from that judge, number one, if it's early in the morning, you got to get a judge at 12 o'clock at night, or you better not wake that judge up for some bullshit. You better not wake no judge up for no bullshit. So when you waking up a judge or you going before a judge, most police officers going to have their shit together. It's very, very seldom, unless you got an old ass judge that's on his way out, that's going to give you a warrant that's not vetted. Most judges would do that. And most police officers know, don't you go get no judge and you ain't got your shit together. You will get your ass chewed for some shit like that. A judge will chew your ass and your superior will chew your ass. You will get your ass in trouble, goddammit, if you go to a judge with a warrant that ain't got enough shit in it. And you know those judges, and a lot of times, depending on who the judge is, you know, oh yeah, this judge gonna give us this warrant. Then you know. I've even known of sometimes police officers waiting for the next judge to be the on-call judge. Facts. Who the judge is on tonight? Judge Jenkins. Oh, hell no. No. We're gonna wait till tomorrow to get this. Who on tomorrow? Judge Wilson? Oh yeah. Judge Wilson gonna give us this. I know Judge Wilson. And he know me. We got relationship. We gonna get this warrant, but we gonna wait till tomorrow because Jenkins be on bullshit.
That's not enough. It's not specific enough. They will reject your warrant. Or we give you a warrant, but you can't do a no knock on this situation. It's not enough information. This is too much of a risk factor. It's too much. Can go looking in the top drawer in this bedroom.
Now this is the last point I want to get to.
You can only go to those places that you have designated on the warrant that you can go.
Right.
Many warrants, we can only go to the restroom and under the sink, and that's it.
Now that's bullshit. That right there is bullshit. I ain't never heard of, I've never been a part of anybody trying to get a warrant for just a bathroom, just under the sink. You never tell a judge no shit like that. You'll say, Judge, we got evidence that shows there's drug trafficking going on at this house. Judge, we got evidence to show that this is where this guy lives who committed this crime. We got the evidence, we got the prints on the gun and all that. And if we go on to search, we want to search the whole house. We want to search the whole house. We want to search. We don't want to just go and search the bathroom. We don't just want to go and search it. We want to, and the judge will tell you, okay, within reason, you can search the living room, the dining room, that detached garage, that farmhouse that's all the way down a half acre away from the house. Nope, you can't get that. But the house, yes. The living area, yes. You don't go and get no warrant just for under the sink in the kitchen. Mm-mm. You may tell the judge to say, hey, judge, we believe that he's taking the drugs and he's going from his car and he's going into his house. We want to be able to search the house. We want to be able to search the car because he's keeping the drugs and the money in one of those two places. We believe that this guy has the murder weapon on him. He's used this gun. He shot 5 other people and he probably still got the gun. We want to be able to search his house. We want to be able to search his garage that is attached to the house. We want to be able to do that. I ain't never seen no police officers execute a warrant on just a bathroom. Just don't do it. You don't do it. Ain't no smart police officer gonna ask a judge just for that one room. You don't do that because you don't know where a person is hiding. Even if you got intel, even if you got a snitch, and that snitch is telling you, look, he keep the dope in his freezer in his kitchen. Cool. Where the money? I don't know. It could be there, right? Yeah. We need to search the house. When they executed that warrant on Breonna Taylor, it wasn't just for the living room area. It's for the house. Ain't no smart police officer gonna isolate their warrant to just one room. They gonna tell that judge, hey man, this is where they live. They go throughout this crib. That dope could be anywhere in this house. We have reason to believe. We got pictures that show him taking this gym bag in and out this house. That is where we believe the dope is. So we want to be able to check the car because he could leave some of the dope in there or all of the dope in there. He can take the money into the house. We need to be able to get into the whole living quarters.
Because that is where our informant said the drugs were. You can't just scour through somebody's entire house. You can't do that. You have to go to where there is evidence.
Yes.
Of potential evidence. Now,
and most warrants will be for the living areas. Like I said, unless you got like a farm or some shit like that, and you got, 5 different farmhouses that's all the way across 10 acres or 40 acres. No, you ain't gonna get to go into every farmhouse and nothing unless you have evidence that shows that. But for the most part, you will be able to search those living areas, those living quarters, and that vehicle. Definitely. So that's just the reality of it. You don't just get it isolated to one particular room in one particular area under the sink, in the bathroom, the second bathroom, in the bottom level of the house. Nope, I want the crib.
In certain situations where you believe that the house is a crime scene or something of that nature, then you can articulate that. But all the warrants we did is that we're going here, looking in the top drawer in this bedroom, the closet in this bedroom, on the shelf in the kitchen in this room. And
you do that when you got a snitch. You got that snitch that's telling you exactly where it's at. You do identify that, but you also want to be able to search those surrounding areas in that. And most of the time, unless you got some real paper thin evidence, most of the time that's what you're going to get. You're going to get that area. You're going to get that area. So that's just the reality of it, and that's just how that shit goes. Like I said, and I'm going to wrap this up. This is just one of those situations where I believe that the no-knock warrant was warranted because you're looking for a murderer. So I definitely believe that the no-knock was definitely justified. However, I believe that, number one, that these guys came in. I can actually stop this because he was just talking about the warrants and stuff like that, which is pretty much most stuff I agree with. But I believe that the no-knock warrant was poorly executed. I believe that they went in too far into that house, into that apartment. They should have came in through that little hallway, had the guys flank off like they did in that kitchen area. You go there and you hold position. That because they got cover, because there's a counter and stuff in there. You got cover, get down low. I got the shield. I'm going to be the point person coming through. I'm going to get in this hallway and I'm going to stop at the hallway. Why? Because I can see everything else that's coming our way. And I don't know where this guy is. And once they saw that guy there, you announcing that guy got to get up. And he ain't going no goddamn where. It's an apartment. If there's somebody in another room or something like that, they got to come to you anyway. They got to come to you anyway. So that's what you want to look at. Shout out to Nikki. Hit your boy with $10. Thank you so much. And now if y'all got questions, go ahead and hit me up. Hit the questions in the chat and I'll try to answer them along the way to get before we get on up out of here. But that's exactly what I want to do. I want to come in, quiet as kept with the key. I'm coming in, ballistic shield. I got my gun out. I got the lights on. Once I get to the edge of that hallway, I'm going to be like, hey, police, get your hands up. Get your ass on the ground. Get your hands up. Get your hands. Let me see them hands. Let me see them hands. And that's what I want to do. So my man that sleep on the couch, he going to wake up and he going to see this ballistic shield, the lights that's on this ballistic shield, and the 9 other cops that's behind me ain't going to be like, oh, shit, the popos is here. Yes, sir. And we already up in here, buddy. Ain't nowhere to run, baby. Nowhere to hide. You got him. You got him. So yes, what you looking for and what you trying to do, you've executed it well to that point when you got the shield. If he the crazy man that's gonna bang out, he gonna shoot everybody, and he going out top of the world, ma, fine. Every bullet he shoot gonna hit this ballistic shield, and me and my boys are up on the hill, and we gonna give him the big payback. Because that's when we laugh on the big payback. That's what you gonna do. I'm gonna light this boy up if he even think he gonna shoot at us. That's how that goes. Have I ever thought about training cops? I would love to have the opportunity to do that, just because of my experience that I've had and because of where I've grown up. There are a lot of police officers. That's a great question, Calvin. There are a lot of police officers that did not grow up in the situation that I grew up in. They didn't grow up in that environment. And essentially what that does is, because they don't have the experience, they really don't know what it's like being in these situations. That's why I always say police officers should FTO for a minimum 18 months. In my opinion, 2 years. And and I've always said this, police officer that's doing the FTO must have been a police officer on the streets for at least 5 years. Because most police officers, that's when you get your groove. Police officers that just get on, now you have your exceptional guys that are just really good at what they do, and they just got that sixth sense where they know what's happening, and they know where to look, they know how to search, they know the hide spots and the nooks and crannies. You have those guys, but most police officers, especially when in those cities and in those states where those police officers got to have 2 years or 4 years of college, or they got to have a degree in law enforcement, that keeps you from getting your good guys that know people and have the experiences with people. You cut that down. That's why a lot of police officer requirements, it used to be where they had to have a college degree or 2 years of college, and they actually went back on that and went back to saying, hey, if you got your high school diploma, come on, take the test. Because you got your people essentially, or your people with those great people skills coming out of high school instead of coming out of college. Your people that barely made it out and didn't have enough money to go into college, those are the people that you want to get on the force, because they're the athletes. They are the people that actually deal with people on the regular. They're your popular kids. They're your guys, especially in the hood. Most of your popular niggas did not go into college and get their 4-year degree in law enforcement, because most people that do that don't want to do that. They don't want to go and be police officers. Very few do. So yes, I want that guy that grew up in the neighborhood, that's going to police in the neighborhood he's from, that's going to know the people where he at. That's why I said police officers should have to, not all, but at least 60% of your police officers should have to live in the areas where they police. Oh, I got the answers. I got this shit figured out. You make it to where police officers got to have 2 years of FTO with an officer that's been on the force for at least 5 years? Yes, sir. You're going to have better cops. You're going to have better cops. Wifey and I are enjoying the commentary and play. Thank you, Solomon. I appreciate it. John Costello said, I'm sorry, I keep saying this, but it looked like Locke had a deagle, a Desert Eagle. Okay, even with a shield, that Desert Eagle going through it like butter and at that range, especially if it's FMJ. Here's the thing. How many times have you seen somebody shoot somebody with a Desert Eagle? How accurate are you with a Desert Eagle? Most people, a Desert Eagle is a toy. It's a fashion gun. It's a gun for just flashing. It's a gun that you shoot just that Desert Eagle. And what's the Smith & Wesson one? The Bull, the Raging Bull, and the Judge. Those large caliber, super caliber guns, super califragilistic guns. Those guns are literally just show guns. They're something to shoot at the range. They're something to shoot outside. They make a loud boom. Yes, they got big bullets in them, but that is not what most niggas in the streets carry. Those guns jam all the time because of the pressure that they generate when they shoot. Usually, I'm telling you right now, it's very rare for somebody to be able to run a full magazine through a Desert Eagle. Very, very, you will be hard pressed to find somebody who can shoot a full mag through a Desert Eagle on point, where they killing it. You ain't gonna see it. They gonna be shooting that gun slow, and it's going, especially if you got some distance, it's off target. Anybody you see that got a gun like that, I instantly say, if that's they carry, I've never seen somebody say, this is my everyday carry. I carry that Deagle, homie. I'm gonna be like, nigga, you can't shoot. I'm instantly gonna think that. A Desert Eagle is not a gun that's like, oh yeah, this that one to have here, baby. You ain't gonna, man, look, that's a toy gun. It's for fashion, it's for show. It costs a lot of money. The bullets cost even more money. Them damn Desert Eagle bullets, boy, please, you don't even want people to shoot that shit unless you just got bread like that. I've seen more people hit themselves in the head with a Desert Eagle than I've seen them be proficient with one. Facts. You find somebody on YouTube, go look on YouTube and see somebody handling a Desert Eagle, and the person that's doing it well, is probably an accomplished gun owner, somebody who knows guns and can shoot guns extremely well. If you see them handling a Deagle very well, if they proficient with it. So it's like, I don't know what he had, and you could probably find out. But beside the point, if you are afraid and think he do got a Desert Eagle, or if you think he does have a AK-47, or he got a P90 with them FN or FN57, if you do think he got that, that's even more reason for you to be cautious. It's even more reason for you to be cautious. It's even more reason for you to make your entry and hold. A simple enter and hold, as we announce, my man's still alive. They shoot him in that situation. He wanted to die. He wanted to bang out. He was top of the world, made it, and that's it. So just think about that, right? Exactly. That recoil from that Desert Eagle, the recoil from a Judge, the recoil from a Raging Bull, it's insane. Hell, I'm going to even take it a step further. Most of the time, the recoil from a 45 is enough to where it compromises your accuracy. That's why I never recommend it. Now, there are certain people who are just good with a 45. Now, 1911, because it has a little more weight to it, it's an all-metal frame. Yeah, you can be a little more accurate with a 1911. But most people that carry a 45 as they everyday carry and they shoot well with it, that's a gun they've had for umpteen years, and that's all they get. Pretty much that's all they shoot with. Your most accomplished shooters will carry a 45 and be good. When I took my NRA handgun certification, you know, when you were NRA, because well, it expired, but being an NRA certified handgun instructor, I got a perfect on my test. You know what I got a perfect with? I had a 1911 chambered in 22. I had a 1911 chambered in 22. My instructor had a listen to this. When we went and we took the class, we did the paperwork part, we did the classroom part. When we had to qualify that next day, he said, I'm bringing, just in case somebody wants to, you got to buy your own ammo, but I'm bringing my 1911 chambered in 22 caliber. And I was smart enough to say, if he the instructor and he's offering a 1911 chambered in 22, I'm going to shoot what he's saying, what he's recommending, what he's offering. He said, you can shoot whatever you want, but I got a perfect because I shot with a 1911 chambered in 22. Now, there were other guys there who had 45s. Actually, one of the guys who had a 45, he had to shoot twice because he didn't pass the first time. The other guys had 9mm. A couple of people had 380s. A couple of people had 357. What's that? That automatic, that semi-automatic 357. It's a whatchamacallit. God damn it! I always forget this name. The really nice guns that cost a lot of money. They shoot good as hell. The P whatchamacallit. Not a Ruger. It's a damn it! I can't think of this gun manufacturer. One of the most popular ones. But it's a 357 semi-automatic that they got. It's not Glock. It's not Smith & Wesson. It is not Beretta. It's a SIG. Thank you, Lion Tribe. The SIG that's chambered in 357. Guy had one of those. It was a guy it was 3 people that got a perfect. Me with the 22. There was a guy there with a 40 and a guy who had a 9. We were the only 3 out of like 25 people that got a perfect. So that just gives you the idea of just saying, just because you got a large caliber gun, yes, you can drop them. If this 45 hit you, yeah, this 45 gonna put you down. That guy who that guy who did that shooting at that church in White Settlement here in Texas a few years ago, that guy there, he was a firearms instructor. Yes, he took that guy out with one shot with his 45, and his 45 was a shorty. It was a short barrel. Semi-automatic 45, one shot, but that guy was a trained firearm instructor. That's all he did was shoot with that gun. He was born for that fucking moment. One shot, 45, headshot, gone, boom. Most people in a shootout, number one, you don't want a 45 because of the recoil, especially if you got a short one, a short barrel. So it basically what it does is because of that recoil, it makes it harder to boom, put that gun back on target. So when you shooting, bang, you got a higher recoil, you got more kick. It's harder to get that next shot placed well because of the recoil. Now you factor in adrenaline, you factor in the OODA loop factor. Look that up. James Yeager did an excellent job on. If you go YouTube James Yeager and him talking about OODA loop. You talking about all those other factors that go into it? Trust and believe. I will never recommend an everyday carry for somebody who is not an accomplished shooter to carry a 45. I'll be the first one to tell you, 9mm. I myself, I got a 40, but my everyday carry is a 9mm. My rounds that I carry, which is important, plus P, 9mm rounds. Why? Because velocity is what creates stopping power. Velocity and shot placement is what put your guys down. Now, that's just some gun shit right there that I'm telling you. Shout out to United Guns of America. If you ain't subscribed, then get there on that channel. But that's exactly what that does. You want to make sure you can drop that person down that you in a shootout with. Velocity plus P has a higher charged round, which means that bullet goes faster, and shot placement. So when you hit, you want to hit them. You want to hit them hard. 9mm allows you to put more shots on target. Less recoil. Same thing with a 380. Same thing. Just the only thing about it, a 380 versus a 9mm, that 380 and that 9mm, what? You talking about rounds. How many rounds you got? I like having 17 rounds because in today's world, most of the time, if you get into a gunfight, the probability of you being into a gunfight with multiple people is high. Somebody break into your house, usually it ain't one person busting into your house nowadays. When you see these home invasions, you get multiple assailants. You just do. So it's like those are the things that you have to look at and take into account when you're talking about carrying that gun. 10mm, that's a bear gun. It's grown on you. Wolf bear, accomplished shooter. He's somebody, that's what he do. Those are the things that you think about when you're talking about your everyday carry. I don't know how we got to talking about this, but we here. When I tell people first time shooter, you want to go and shoot a 22. I recommend it. Or a 380. Why? Because that initial kick is not as startling. It's not as scary as it is with a 40 or 45. When you look at those people that are busting up in your house, you want to have not only a good round with stopping power, you want to have multiple rounds. The last thing, and y'all know I always say this, the last thing you want to do in a gunfight is what? And let's see if somebody who's been listening to me, if somebody knows. What's the last thing you want to do in a shootout? I'll give you a couple of seconds to put it in the chat. But I say this all the time. The last thing thank you, Colin. The last thing I want to do in a gunfight is have to reload. If I'm reloading, we in trouble. My brother always say that. The last thing you want to have to do is reload. Pop in another clip or whatever you want to call it. I know niggas like to say clips. It's magazine. So you have to take those things into account. I want to be able to have enough rounds that I can put down on my multiple assailants or my single assailant to get that person down. I got a video of a home invasion. I'm going to do a video on it probably tomorrow or something. Talking about what these guys busted up in a person's house. Multiple shots. Woman got the gun. I don't know if y'all heard this story or seen this story. The woman was the chick who was there in the house with her husband. She's an Instagram model. She could not shoot his gun because his gun had a palm safety. And I believe it was a 45. So the gun they were sitting on the couch chilling. She was actually in the room with her kids and she heard the commotion going on. She heard the person coming in. She got the gun, but it was too big for her hand. She could not engage the palm safety and the trigger safety in order to use the gun. So she had to wait for him to get there to give him the gun so that he could use the gun. That's why my wife got the gun she got. I picked her gun. Well, she picked the gun that she liked, but I gave her the parameters on what kind of gun to get. I'm not going to have my wife out here without no gun, with a gun that she can't use just because the rounds are good in it. And I don't want her grabbing my gun trying to use it because I might have it and she might not be able to get to it. I want her to have her own gun so she can go to work her damn self. So there's a lot that goes on, and you can get all of this great information and these great tactics on my gun channel, the United Guns of America. Great plug. I recommend for the guns I recommend for men and the guns I recommend for women are different. I usually tell women, try that Smith & Wesson. Try that Ruger LC9, because those guns, not only are they got a smaller, more comfortable grip, and most women tend to like those and they like the SIGs, but they like those because they are easy to rack the slide. I'm not one of those people that say, yeah, you give your girl a revolver. Nope. I want my wife to I want her to have rounds to put down on somebody. Somebody trying to carjack her, a group of niggas trying to carjack her at the Walmart. I want her to be able to give enough bullets for everybody. So that's why I don't recommend revolvers except for as a backup gun. Somebody get the drop on you, got your revolver on your leg or you got your revolver in your purse, that's fine. Shout out to April Jones. Who? April Jones. Hit your boy with $5. Appreciate it. That's why I recommend that. Yeah, it's 6 shots. It never jammed. That ain't the point. I want my wife to be able to have a gun where she can send some shots off and she don't, my wife get her gun and she let 20 rounds go. Yes, her gun hold 20 bullets. Nigga get her after 20 rounds. Hey, they a daisy if they do. But I want her to be in a position to where she can defend herself and she ain't got to worry about reloading. She can shoot 3 or 4, 5, 6 rounds and she still got plenty left. And I know that, like, thank you, exactly, Albanian. I know a lot of women have problems racking a slide. So I don't want her to have to rack a slide if she ain't got to. And if she does, if there's a jam or malfunction, she can. That LC9, that Smith, or that Springfield, you can rack it. A lot of women, if you do have a gun like that, you need to go shoot it more, because the more you shoot it, the easier the action will get. Break them springs in on those guns so that you can rack that slide. Cool? Any other questions? Because we're going to wrap it up. We right at 2 hours. I did a good one, 2 hours and 17 minutes, but I did a good job. I'm going to wrap it up and just say this. One of the biggest problems with police officers nowadays, aside from the political bullshit that's being forced on them and they're automatically made the bad guy, is training. Our police officers need more training. They need to be put in positions to where they are more aware of what's going on and know how to react. They need to be in those positions. And the only way you can do that is by hanging around other police officers and getting the training that they need. Yes, I would love to talk to police officers and talk to them about how you enter and bust into a house looking for your bad guys. Absolutely. When you look at SWAT teams are some of the best guys that you got on your force. Those guys train at least once or twice a month. Why? Because they want to be ready. And the only way you gotta stay ready. They every time they getting together, they going to their shoot house, they going to their range, and they are working out because they want to be ready. You got to be practicing. You want to be with the same guys. You want to know who gonna do what, who's good at what, who's good at deploying a flashbang. That's another thing that just hit me with that one. That's another thing they could have deployed. You get up in there with a key. Let me drop this flashbang on my man. Boom. Total disorientation. Anybody who's heard or been around or seen a flashbang, correct me if I'm wrong. Now I know that only SWAT teams pretty much have those, but that's where you get those guys involved. You actually have a warrant. You got time. Hey guys, I need you. We got to bust into 3 apartments and I don't know who's in them. That's who you want. Deploy this flashbang. Let's go ahead. Let's wrap these guys up real nice and tight. Pretty light. As my man Anthony Brian Logan say, we go in there, bust that flashbang. We can wrap them up and put a bow on it. And that's it. The concussive force, the light from it, it is disorienting instantly. I ain't never seen nobody walk through a flashbang. Everybody who's with you, who know you busting a flashbang, they like this. Boom! They go in and they hitting it because they expecting it. But that person who sleep on the couch with the cover over their head, they gonna get up there, they ain't gonna know what's happening. That's just all it is. So I'm just telling you, that's what you have to do as police officers. It is your job to be the professional and to be tactically trained and ready for whatever when things like this happen. When you going on these no-knock warrants, when you going on a knock warrant, when you going in like this and you don't know who's in there or what's in there waiting on you, you got to be ready and you got to have the right tools in place. And I don't know how you doing no-knock warrants in today's time with the climate that's around police, how you hitting doors with no ballistic shield. That makes no sense. If your department can't afford it, then goddamn it, you need to be out protesting, asking for ballistic shields. It ain't like a ballistic shield is $10,000 per shield. Going there with a ballistic shield, hell, even if you want to go in there with a dog, you got to go in there with the right tools so that you can subdue and arrest that person instantly, as quickly and as safely as possible, not just for the person's sake, but for your team's sake. I don't want to go through a door with one of my guys and one of my guys get shot. I don't want to put my guys in harm's way. I don't want them to be in a situation or in a position to where they can take a round because they might not go home. Some asshole who don't know what the fuck they doing or some asshole who's scared can literally get that behind the back one shot off and get one of my guys in the eye and it's over. So I definitely believe that in law enforcement, in these other departments throughout the country, y'all have an opportunity here to do your part in serving your community by making sure your guys have the proper tools and the proper training. And I'll end it with that. It is the police department's responsibility, the upper brass, the captains, the lieutenants, the superintendents, the chiefs. It is your job to make sure that your guys who are your ground foot soldiers who in the trenches every day to have the tools that they need to do the job so this type of shit won't happen. Shame on them. Most of your upper brass are making upwards of $80,000 to $90,000 a year, if not more. Don't defund the police, fund the police so that they have the things that they need. Hell, I wouldn't even be opposed to that front guy having on a ballistic suit. It is the upper brass responsibility to make sure that these police officers have the tools that they need to do their jobs. That's why police officers get their vests rotated out. I think it's every 5 years they get their vest swapped, or every 7 years or something like that. Whatever that life expectancy is on that vest. They get them swapped out. Why? Because you don't want to have an old ass vest from 1980 and it fails. It's old, it's tattered. Now they may stink because you're sweating in them, but goddamn it, you ain't here to smell good. You here to be protected. I hope that this video helps somebody become a better version of themselves. I want to give a shout out to everybody that took the time to click this the link to take a time to watch the show and to see what I have to say. If you guys got any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comment section. Let me know what you guys think about this. This is just one of those things to where it didn't have to be this way, which is why I'm talking about what it is that I'm talking about and why I'm talking about it the way that I'm talking about it. We've got to do better as police officers. We've got to do better as civilians. And in this instance right here, the line responsibility on this particular entry was the police officer's fault. Just what it is. Shout out to my man Quasi Jordan, your boy with $5. Thank you, sir. And shout out to everybody that took their time to click the link and go over to the United Guns of America. And hey, shout out to Brandon Tatum. I just want to tell you, brother, I like what you do, but in this instance here, we just have a disagreement on the point of view. And hey, man, I would love to discuss it with you if we have the opportunity. If not, it is what it is. And hey, I did my thing, you doing your thing. I love you guys. Thank you, everybody that tuned in. Please, please, please click that like button, click that share button. And if you are watching this on the replay, you can still hit that donate button. Yes, I just do that for y'all because I know how much y'all like to donate to me. I do. I know it. I know it. I know it. Still available. Thank you guys so much. Y'all have a good night. Until next time, peace, and I'm out. Y'all have a good night. I love y'all.
What's going on, everybody out there in the internet world? It's me, Brian Redmond, also known as the Relationship Rehab. And I need you to do two things. What are those two things? Subscribing to both my channels. I need you to go to the Relationship Rehab, subscribe to that channel, and then I need you to go to United Guns of America and go to that channel. Now you may be asking, why would I do that, Brian? Because it's two of the hottest channels on the internet. Come over there, give me your thoughts, give me your opinions, have conversations, because that's what it's all about. We talk about some of everything: politics, relationships, guns, law enforcement, community stuff, anything that's happening. I'm willing to have a conversation about it, so come on over. You don't got nothing else to lose, and you ain't got nothing else to do. So come to my channel, subscribe ASAP, and join in on the fun. Twice the entertainment, 2 channels, twice the fun. Come on and have a funky good time with your boy. Peace, and I'm out.
Killed.